CompuServe is a good example of a wrong business model, though. That's why it crashed. Short-term profits, no growth, crash. That -16 that you talked about as an example.
They certainly didn't do the bottom one here. They didn't continually refresh and grow the enabling functionality. I mean, you still can't send a file attachment to people on CompuServe mail, unless you're on CompuServe. You can't send it across the internet.
Can you talk a little bit about where you see your development moving? What kinds of other sorts of worlds do you think should be constructed? Interestingly, I was just in a social science group, I've been kind of running back and forth, and they were talking about kind of history of designers designing for a young sort of male community, and I think that's a kind of historical artifact in a lot of ways. And you've obviously moved into another kind of design imaginary. What's the next step in terms of the growth of communities and the profit outlook? How are you thinking about that? Are you just going to grow these worlds?
Fujitsu is going to be growing the number of worlds. We're going to be growing. We're going to be expanding from right now where Dreamscape is a Fujitsu world. It's our service. Pride is a joint venture with Pride Media. So we're going to be growing the number of specifically Fujitsu worlds as well as the number of joint venture worlds based on the current 2.x platform. And we're moving the technology ahead to future versions. In addition, for example, we released 2.0. I think it was early July. We're now at 2.1. So the technology is moving along, and then the services will expand.
How do you do your market research though to know where to go? I guess I'm curious how you anticipate that market.
With market research on the web, it's pretty easy. You do surveys and ask.
You just target, you look at a certain socioeconomic group that you want to.
And we principally are looking at chatters. I mean, we look a lot at, we talk to our, get a lot of data from our own community. But other than that, we're looking at chatters. I mean, those are the kind of people that are most obviously, most easily targetable to get information from. Way out of line. We're way down here. It's still very early. The return is later. We've been spending more than we're taking in. Excuse me. We are still spending more than we're taking in, and we've been investing. For Fujitsu started in 1989 when they first licensed this technology. Launched Habitat in Japan in 1990. So they've been investing since then.
Actually, this panel, I think, demonstrates a point that I've been making for a while, and that is, it seems to me there are two strategies for succeeding in a world like this. One is the Fujitsu model. This is a company that's the second largest computer company in the world. They clearly have a vested interest in this. They've got a deep determination to succeed in it. It's the same thing that a Time Warner will be doing, or a Procter & Gamble, or a General Motors, or MetLife. I mean, they understand they need to be here. They're not looking at this in any short-term way as a profit center, and they'll invest in it as long as they need to. And then the other model is the Cybertown, which is these two guys in a garage who've got a zero overhead, no debt, self-funding. I think the people who are most at risk are the ones in the middle. And I mean, I'm thinking of a company that's a couple of blocks from here, that's venture funded, that has 60 people working for it now at a burn rate of something over $500,000 a month. And I think that's tough. And I think if you're in that space, you're vulnerable. I'm not saying they won't succeed, they may, but that's a tougher place to be.
Is that true? Who was it?
I wouldn't say, but there's more than one, I would
There's
say.
a lot of investment in virtual.
It's probably surrounded by them.
Yeah.
Any direction.
But if you look at the experience of the last year, if you were here last year, there's several people who were here last year who aren't here this year.
Right.
WorldsAway's a good example.
Yeah. Well, Black Sun barely made it back this year. On Live is the other obvious one. People really have trouble with this.
Actually, the people that's interesting.
Sorry?
It's the people are back here, it's the companies that are missing. Speaking of global architecture.
That's right.
Well, I think the problem is that early adopters pay the price.
Well, my friend Paul Sappho likes to say that, you know, one of the classic mistakes of an entrepreneur is to mistake a clear view for a short distance. I mean, just because you can see something and you see that it makes sense, ain't means that it's gonna happen right away, folks.
It takes a long time for revenue to grow,
So,
or just the right mix.
One of the things that we've seen in a lot of the companies, and I personally think one of the reasons that there's a lot of failure so far, is that most companies there's not enough of a market to sell productized, interactive virtual world systems. Yeah.
One of the things that makes one platform more attractive than another is who will give me the tools.
Certainly, but you said
You know, how-
Cyberworld, the reason Cybertown was so successful, to summarize it all, is that the thing they do over all other things is build community. That is job one at
Yes.
Cybertown.
Yes, that's
Not
true.
build community and develop Verbal 3.0 tools, or
Oh,
anything
no,
else.
they don't, they're not a software.
Right, and my point is the reason Cybertown is successful is because they have a very clear focus,
Yes.
build the community.
That's true.
And I wonder at what point in time, companies like Fujitsu will have to split into two companies, or two divisions rather, and other companies will have to make a choice. We are a tool company, we are a community building company.
Well, the problem is that in order to show off their platform, they have to create a community initially.
It's a stage where
And then they're stuck. They're, you know, we make these tools and we run this place, and then they can't seem to make up their minds about what they do.